This is a bad time of year for me. The memories of the past just... They say time heals, and actually I'm not sure it does. It doesn't heal, it numbs. And I've got to somehow get through, or not. Last time I didn't get through, I did something silly, and it cost a lot of trouble, or caused a lot of trouble, and I'm trying to get through again. And I've come out with the camera. It's what I always do. What I really need is someone to talk to. What I really want to do is talk to one person, but they don't want to talk. They believe their own narrative, and yeah, that's difficult. So I'm sorry if this video doesn't work for you. I hope the photography is working for you, but I'm in a bad way, and the only way that I can deal with that without talking to the people that I absolutely have to talk to, who refuse to talk, is to either be with somebody else. I don't really have anybody else, or rejuvenate my friendship with this thing. So I've got this log here, and there's another one over here, that are just kind of covered in moss. Well, not covered, but they've got a nice varied species moss pattern about them, and I'm really liking it. I'm liking it as a kind of just little micro climate. Well, it's not microclimate, I don't know what to call it. It's nice. We'll leave it at that. I'm not feeling particularly sophisticatedly wordy today. I don't think I can find an angle that works for this, because this is lower, but I really love this little bracken fern that's down here. And what I really want to be able to do is to get a view that kind of looks down into it, but also gets this and that. And because that's lower than here, I'm not sure that there's an angle to do that without getting too much of the background in. The further I come up here, so we've got this ferny here, and so we've got this moss here, a fern at the back, but the further I come up, you see, the more this gap here opens up, whereas if I come down, the less I see of this. And I don't think that what I want to achieve I can achieve. As in lots of things in life, I think a compromise. So I've got what I think is quite a nice composition. My idea with this is to get the image quite dark, and really focus on the vibrancy of the greens, and kind of pour the eye in a little bit with the flow of the grain of the wood. I'm not certain about it. We will have to see. And really just completely sacrificing the little fern at the back here. It's very incidental to this shot. You say lichen, I say lichen. Let's call the whole thing moss. We're mid-August, a little way off prime mushroom season, but I haven't been photographing in the woods for actually most of this year. I think maybe twice I've been here. Once was very recently, and I made a small member video. Look at me lounging around. Made a small member video only last week actually, and the principal reason that I came back to the woods was because I saw a new video from Simon Baxter. Now, if you're not aware who Simon Baxter is, I'm going to put a link to his channel and indeed the video down in the description. But Simon is a premier woodland photographer. I'm not quite sure what he'd make of this place because it's just kind of all up and down most of the time. But he lives up in the north of England, and there are some fantastic woods around him. This here is a lot of this is plantation, very heavily managed. I mean, there are some other decent woods around, but I tend to come here because I know actually where the pockets of good things are. Now, I wasn't certain what I was going to show, what I was going to take photos of today, but everything really is in detail in woodland for me. I'm not that great a woodland photographer. You can check out some of the videos, I'll put links to them. And I think there's just so much that you can find in a woodland with a macro lens, or at least getting really close to things. You don't have to have a macro lens. Heck, you can get really close to things with your phone. And I think when we start looking at things in detail, then we begin to really necessarily appreciate that it's the detail that often really makes something. But equally, when we're getting really close to things, particularly in these kind of situations here, it can be challenging. That's for sure. But then again, woodland is challenging. The more time you spend in these places, and possibly even without moving, the more you see. For instance, I mean, I've been sat here talking to you, the camera, and yeah, most of my focus for a little while has been kind of this tree stump and the area around. But as I'm looking at you, I'm thinking, there's some gorgeous tree shapes just ahead of me. That's working really nicely. I just love the shapes of that tree, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've got a macro lens. Should I? Of course you should blooming shoot it. Yeah, if you're here and you can spot it and you can see something as a possibility, explore that possibility. Anyway, look, got some macro shots that I've already taken, and I hope you like them. And I'm gonna explore this this small grouping of trees over here. I've been standing here for 5 minutes or so, just watching a dragonfly. I wish I knew what species it was. It's coming over here now. Just, it's so close. Beautiful green, vivid green in itself, and a couple of blue tips to its tail. I can't see it now. Don't know where it's got to. But in all the time that I've been watching it, it hasn't landed once. It's going around investigating things, and I know in my heart and from experience that, you know, it won't let me get nearly close enough to take a photo of it. But you know, I don't know how I make myself look like an insect. There it goes. There it is. I know you can't see it. I've lost it now. My apologies for this intermission. I've got to keep the lights on. The music that you're hearing in this video is from audio.com. Now, I'm not sponsored as such by audio.com, but they have given me a year's subscription. The stuff that I found on audio.com is really, really very nice. Now, there's a code in the description that will give you 70% off a year's worth of subscription from it. If you're a creator, I really do recommend you'll go and check it out. It's yeah, I'm not being paid to say this. I will get a commission if you go and subscribe, but heck, if you like the music, give it a go. I've been shooting quite a lot of abstract stuff recently. You might have seen one of the recent videos about it. If you haven't, go and watch it. But one of the key things I think about abstract is how it tends to exist mostly in a very, very flat kind of plane. It's almost two-dimensional. If you try to create something that's abstract, that's very deep, it just... I can't think of an instance of an abstract shot that is deep. I'm probably wrong. You know, correct me if you like. But what I have here is a shot, and it's so simple. It's just of this bark, and what's really interesting to me is the way in which we've got this band off of it, and I just love that. And it's an incredibly simple framing. I'm going to put this up to about F9. I'm going to put it onto a self timer because I've taken the cable release off and shoved it in my bag, and I just can't be bothered. So 2 second self timer. Bang, 1, click. Oh, did that tried to focus. Oh, I think it got it right. I like the shot. It's just a lovely colour difference between the two sections of it. You know, really quite green and earthy, really quite golden and really quite green. I hope you like it. It's just something I stumbled on. Don't we always just stumble on things? But it's keeping your eyes open, and you see these interesting things. Initially, I was actually looking at the colour differences between these leaves here, and something's obviously eaten these. And then there's this bark. I spotted this trunk from the path. Unusual for me because I didn't have my glasses on. So much of the interest, so much of the detail interest is in the cut things around here, or around the cut things. So much of the moss is actually on the stumps, or the roots and stumps of things, or the bases of trees. And what got me about this, and it's really striking just from the path, which is over here, just again colour contrast, the way that the algae has just built up on here. And I think there's a really interesting shot here. When you get closer as well, you realise just how all of the cut marks from the bloody hell words chainsaw have kind of been left in it, and the way in which over time the wood has cracked, creating these kind of fissures in it. I think it's really very, very interesting. I've been looking out for a bit of colour in the woodland, because it's all kind of browns and greens, isn't it, generally? And the ubiquitous herb robert, it's a geranium. It's a beautiful little flower. I really do love this little flower. It grows in kind of everywhere really. We got lots of geranium species in gardens, the holiday cottages and the like, and yeah, you can rely on them to produce a splash of colour, quite a lot of growth. In fact, so much so at the cottages I've got to keep cutting it back just so we can see the path. I want the background to be as blurry as possible, and that means keeping the aperture as low as possible, as low as I dare. I really do like this shot. It's an in-camera focus stack with the camera doing all of the work itself. It's just another example of the kind of simple photography that I like to produce. If you'd like to see more simple photography, there's an entire video on it. Check it out in the corner. I'm really looking forward to mushroom season coming out in full force in the next, I don't know, 6 weeks or so, something like that. I'll definitely be back in the woods for that. I hope you've enjoyed the photos from this and any message that I might have managed to put out. I'm not sure I've managed to put out any kind of message except just get out there. That's always the message, isn't it? It's, if we sit in front of our computers or on our phones all the time, then well, yeah, what do we become? What we need to do is just indulge in what we enjoy, and don't just say, oh, I enjoy sitting on my backside watching TV. The woods is always a great place to get out, particularly on a hot sunny day. Hasn't been terribly hot today, or indeed sunny, but yeah, under this canopy it's far more pleasant than just the mugginess of being out in the open. But that's not really what the video's about, is it? Or is it actually? Yes, it is. It's, oh look, I've got a tree growing out of my head. It's about just not sitting at home all the time. It's about enjoying being outside, whether it's with your camera. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to put across. Take your camera. But it's, if you're not there, you can't take the photos. It's, you don't have to be taking photos all the time, but why not?
When I was young, I had it all planned out, that something big was down the road. I really thought I'd have it all by now, not be a failure if I don't.
The YouTube algorithm thinks you might enjoy this video next. I'd try that one as well. Oh, and just here, you can click to subscribe.